Hello everyone, my name is Pinely, also Or, that's my actual name, and today I'd like to welcome you to the very first episode of my brand new series, Jewish Man Reacts to Funny TikToks. Okay, let's give this thing a watch.
Hail to me, I'm the crowd that's out to change our history. Hail myself, raise your hand. There's no greater dictator in the land.
I'd like to announce that I will officially be discontinuing my series. I'm very sorry to all my longtime fans. Today's video is gonna be a bit of a doozy. It's gonna be a bit of a dooster, everybody. Trisha Paytas, YouTuber, internet troll, had a podcast with Klein called Frenemies, and a serial Jewish men fetishizer.
They think it's like weird, like I like fetishize or obsess over Jews, but I just love them. He's like a toy. It's like, ooh, I got a Middle Eastern, you know?
Oh my god.
It's fun.
This whole obsession and fetishization makes me a little uncomfortable.
It's not fetishizing, it's a preference. If I prefer to date Jewish men. I know you're all about the money, and not just because you're Jewish.
Because I always dated Jewish men, but American Jewish. So now when I met you, I was like, ooh, we got a real one from the homeland.
We know you like...
Trisha Paytas has for years been criticized for a weird obsession with Jewish men, and how that obsession feels quite creepy and weird, and I don't like it very much.
I love Jews. We always talk about this.
Her husband, Moses, Jewish. Jason Nash, her boyfriend, ex-boyfriend, Jewish as well. I'm not really too aware of her dating record before that, but according to her, except of like one guy, every single man she's been with was Jewish.
Pretty much all my boyfriends except for like one were Jewish, so.
But it's not really the fact that she has dated over 1 billion Jewish men on its own. I don't really care about that. I mean, Trisha's an adult. She can date whoever she wants. I don't really care about her preferences in men all that much. It mainly just comes down to the way that she decides to talk about this obsession of hers. When you hear her talk about Jewish men, it just feels like she's describing some kind of mythical beast, some kind of mystical, bizarre creature from a far, far land.
Now you're like, ooh, I got like Aladdin.
That definitely sounds a bit like fetishizing.
And I gotta tell you, it's starting to really affect my day-to-day life. At night, I'm just kind of laying in my bed with my eyes open. I'm terrified. I'm scared because I know that at any moment now, Trisha Paytas can bust through the door of my room and tell me how exotic I look.
Aladdin.
Trisha Paytas' crimes range from making over 1 billion tweets about how much she wants to fuck Jewish men to more simple things, like saying how she wants to dress up as her two favorite Jews for Halloween.
I was gonna come dressed half and half as you because they're my favorite Jewish people. I love them. And Eugene Levy's a double Jew. How amazing is that? I didn't even know those existed. Like
What's a double Jew?
Her two favorite Jews? Are we like Pokemon or something? Feels a tad dehumanizing, Trisha. I gotta be honest with you. It'll be alright if she just dressed up as like Howard Stern, which is one of those two said Jewish people that she had in mind. He's famous. That's a reason to dress up as someone. People dress up as famous people all the time. That's a thing that humans do. But it's particularly his Jewishness that's the reason for the costume, which for me officially crosses the line from okay to weirdo shit. She did a TikTok where she dances around every time a Jewish man that she does want to shows up on screen, but refuses to dance whenever a Jewish man that's not really her type shows up as well. And to that I say, why? No one, this wasn't a thing that people requested. Also, no on Andy Samberg? Are you insane? What are you talking about? That guy is like America's sweetheart.
Yeah, like we know we love Jews.
Something I want to touch on briefly that I also mentioned in my last video is that Judaism is in fact an ethno-religion, meaning you can be born into it like I was. I'm not really religious at all. I wasn't born into a religious family, not much of a believer, but I do have all the cultural aspects of Judaism in my life. I go to Jewish weddings, I have Jewish holidays, all that stuff. I had a bar mitzvah when I was 13, meaning even though I'm not religious, I'm still ethnically Jewish. But with it still being a religion and all, you can also convert into it, like Trisha claimed she was doing, even though she really, really wasn't. As someone who was very much following this development It was obvious from the get-go that Trisha was never going to go through with a conversion process. Why? Because it's an unbelievably long thing to do. It takes about a year to go through the whole thing, a year of like studying and actually really going at it. So if your heart isn't fully in it, and if you're still claiming to believe in Jesus like Trisha was, then you're never gonna finish it. That's not gonna happen. It's just simply not a fun little thing to do. It takes a shit ton of time and dedication. And if there's something that's very consistent about Trisha, is that she's a very inconsistent human being. I think she's had like 5 religions over the past year.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama.
Trisha has, again and again and again throughout the whole frenemies saga, used her conversion process as sort of a shield to defend her from, claims of being anti-Semitic or saying anti-Semitic things, essentially using herself as a token Jewish person, which is fascinating. I've never seen that done before in my life.
Fellow Jews, what's the most subtly anti-Semitic thing someone has ever said to you?
Convert here, Christian converting to Judaism. But probably the most offensive, most anti-Semitic thing people tell me is that I'm not really Jewish. I'm disgracing the Jewish community because I'm on Jew Talk and I make Jew jokes.
I'd also say that her love for Jewish men is a very consistent aspect of her life. She's simply obsessed with us. She can't get enough. It's all she's been talking about for the past 10 years. Going through some of her tweets is really quite an adventure. I felt like I'm going a bit crazy going through them. She has been consistently over the past decade, actually like the past decade up until now, tweeted again and again and again about how much she wants to f*** Jewish guys. Grandpa and grandma. This is specifically a message to you two. I have another grandma, but she doesn't watch my videos. This is a message to the two that do. I know you watch my stuff, and I think that's really nice of you. That's very, very lovely. It really warms my heart. But I'm gonna have to ask you, please skip a bit forward. I don't want you to hear the words that your favorite grandson, your sweet little boy, sweet little Or, is about to utter. It's gonna make me feel very embarrassed and sad if you do. So please skip forward. Please. Okay, here it goes. I swear, Jews have... I swear, Jews have the best cock. Man. Specifically looking for spotted Jew dick at the moment. Mazal. Jerry Seinfeld is trending. He makes me want to have a little Jewish in me, if you know what I'm saying. Pirate shirt and all. Yum. I love Jewish men, but I'm not a Jew. Hashtag reasons why I'm single. Well, not anymore, Trisha. 8 years later, you finally got yourself the Jewish husband you've always wanted. Quite the inspirational tale here, hey? Shit is like a Darman video. Jews never want to date me, but they always want to fuck the shit out of me. So go figure. Go tell your mama that. I'm not gonna do that. I need to find a way to ban my entire family from watching this video, actually, because I doubt I'm gonna be invited to any more family dinners after this. In honor of Yom Kippur. Now, Yom Kippur is a very, very holy day, I'd say. It's quite spiritual. It's like a day of repentance. People fast on Yom Kippur, and it's a day where a lot of people, religious or not, really take the time to kind of look into themselves. They take the time to think if there's anyone that they've particularly wronged in the past year or so. It's always been something that I quite respected, even though I don't really partake in it myself. Anyways, let's read the rest of this tweet. In honor of Yom Kippur, Jews I'd convert for: Gene Wilder, Kirk Douglas, Woody Allen, Harvey Keitel. Who'd you bang? Harvey Keitel. September 2014, she said, I love the Jewish dick. Ordered a bunch of Jewish candy from Dylan's Candy Bar. I'm not a Jew, but I like to f*** them. You could have just ended the tweet in the candy bar anecdote. Why the rest? Can I go on JDate, a Jewish dating website, even if I'm not Jewish? I just feel like dating Jews might be the way to go. Okay, so I think this is where it all started. They seem like they really got their shit together. Yeah, I definitely have my shit together. My friends are currently doing degrees in like computer science and engineering and other science stuff. And this is what I'm doing in comparison. Reading this garbage. Editing these videos is a very big part of my job, and I almost exclusively never have any pants on when I'm doing that. So, yeah, I really have my shit together. You can really say that. You can really say that I got everything all tied up in there in my head. Talking about not having any pants on. How did Hitler not like the Jews? They have big penises and make amazing soup. Like, for real though. Okay, this is very, very weird for me. It's hard to even know how to react, or I guess take it in, like, just in general. What kind of face should I do for the thumbnail face? Should I do a disgusted face? Should I do an angry face? Should I be crying? Should I be crying for the thumbnail? I really don't know, because before making this video, I feel like fetishization wasn't a thing that I would think of as like one of the problems that Jewish people deal with around the world. And you know, me specifically, it's just nothing that I've really experienced before in my life. I don't really know. I don't have a feeling attached to this happening. Usually when I get approached by my millions and millions of crazed fans in the middle of the street and they end up passing out, as they usually do, it's not because of my Jewishness. No, it's because of my, you know, coolness, my sleekness, my unbeatable swagger. And it's also because I punched them in their stupid goddamn faces. Looking at it online, it really seems like fetishization is more of a problem that American Jewish women tend to deal with in that regard. A lot of it comes from just men being out there thinking that Jewish women are something for them to, I guess, conquer or even ruin in a way. They're looking at it as if like, oh, look at me, I just ruined a nice Jewish girl from a nice home. Oh, her father must be so angry. I saw this one article where a woman described this one experience that she had, where a guy has told her mid-everything, has stopped everything to tell her, oh, what would your Jewish lawyer dad think if he knew what I was doing to you right now? Yuck. Why are you thinking about her dad, you fucking creep? But when I read these tweets, I honestly just find them really odd. I know they're horrible. I know she's minimizing my group of people to some kind of weird, a bunch of weird stereotypes, a bunch of weird tropes. But I don't know, it's hard not to laugh when reading this because it just feels ridiculous. I saved my favorite tweet for last here. I'm a big fan of this one. Someone tweeted at Trisha calling her anti-Semitic for like one of the things that she has said or done over the years. You know, Lord knows that there are many to choose from. And I'm guessing she decided to like get one of the members of her PR team to help her out on this one because, man, her response was kind of like shockingly articulate. I'm gonna read it out. Pretty sure if I exclusively fuck Jews, I'm not anti-Semite. Let me read it again for the people in the back of the class. Pretty sure. What an unbelievable dilemma here, hey? How can a person who loves a group of people that much also be against them? How is that possible? How can a person who has exclusively dedicated their lives to only making love to this one group of people also make hate towards them?
Trisha has been making really obscene, borderline, I don't want to say anti-Semitic because you love Jews.
Wait, what? Me?
I've seen the word anti-Semitic being thrown a lot to describe Trisha Paytas' interactions, and don't get me wrong, I definitely get where that comes from. It makes a lot of sense. I mean, a lot of the stereotypes that she likes throwing around are pretty anti-Semitic, but I always thought that it's a bit of a weird word to throw around because Trisha really isn't anti about anything that's going on around here. Quite the opposite. She's very much pro those very same crude stereotypical aspects that the anti-Semites hate. She loves these things. She's obsessive over them. And that was actually when I learned a brand new word. Hope everyone's proud of me. Everyone can clap. One clap. Nothing more. That word being Philosemite. Philosemitism is a notable interest in, respect for, and appreciation of the Jewish people, their history, and the influence of Judaism, particularly on the part of a non-Jew. Sounds on the surface like an inherently positive thing, but not really, not always, because in many cases, there's a bit of an overlap on both sides of the spectrum. A lot of the particularly Jewish things that Philosemites claim they love are, at the end of the day, just full-on stereotypes. It's like saying, oh, these little guys are great. Wow, have you seen these little guys? Man, I love how much they like money. It's so cool and cute how much these little guys love money. Wow. I respect that so much about him. It's just not as positive of a thing that you may think it is. Because the end result here is very, very similar. You end up spreading the exact same stuff that shouldn't be spread. You're ending up spreading the exact same crude tropes that people probably shouldn't have in their brains.
Wait, what? Me?
I said I'm not going to say anti-Semitic.
I love Jews. We always talk about this.
It's very, very nice and gracious of you that you love these elements, but what you love is really nothing more than a weird caricature. It's not actual real life.
You're all about money. Like, as soon as TikTok, you heard you can make money, you're like, I'm on TikTok now.
What? I make like $5 a day.
I know you're all about the money, and not just because you're Jewish. It's because you're just...
That's not true. I'm really not all about the money. Why do you say that?
I know this.
Based on
everything that I've heard about you, that I know about you. You
heard about me
you're
from what?
money-driven.
Look at Trisha when she says what she says. It seems like she actually likes or maybe even respects this aspect that she attributed to Ethan, this money-drivenness. Ethan is very, very quick to defend himself, and he says that he thinks that this attribute that was attached to him is nothing more than just a stereotype at the end of the day. But in Trisha's eyes, there's no actual reason to push back. Nothing bad or anything with bad intent was actually being uttered. She likes this attribute. She likes this money-drivenness that she thinks that Ethan has. She says, hey, you're money-driven, and I love that. I love that so much.
You're
From what?
money-driven, and that's fine.
It makes so much sense to me because as a person who used to watch this podcast quite a bit and, watch all the episodes and keep track of everything that's going on, you could really, really tell that Trisha Paytas is a person who's obsessed with things like money, power, influence. I mean, it's what she's all about, essentially.
This is like not my trash car, but like...
And those things are also aspects that are very, very much heavily attached to stereotypes about Jewish people, which she clearly believes wholeheartedly and decides to spread around all the time.
He tricked me. I thought he was a full Jew, and then he's like, my mom's only Jewish. I'm like, I want...
You want Jewish purity.
That's what I'm trying to get.
You gotta stop, bro.
Why?
Because it's weird. It's weird how you fetishize Jewish people.
It's not fetishizing. It's wanting
totally
to be in the upper echelon of the world.
She says, no, it's not fetishizing. That's not what I'm doing. No, absolutely not. Do you dare to say that that's what I'm doing? You disgusting piece of shit. No, a completely opposite, different thing is at play here. What I'm essentially doing is I'm just this obsession is just about me wanting to be part of the upper echelon of the world. That's all it is. Can you blame me? Yes, I can. That statement just proves that it is. That is what she's doing. That is literally her fetishizing an element that's stereotypical about Jewish people. This is like the most textbook fucking anti-Semitic theory that you have going on out there.
Saying the Jews are the upper echelon of the world is definitely...
Isn't that a compliment?
No, that's why everyone wants to kill us. Is because they've got this whole fucking... No, because they've got these weird world domination conspiracies.
She's just on the other side of the exact same coin. She still believes in all this stuff. That's still clearly there.
Yeah, like, we know we love Jews.
Her thinking that Jews are all rich, powerful people that are a part of the upper echelon of the world is also what makes her love them. But, that love is all just based on something that's inherently pretty rotten. Rotten. I don't really want that kind of love, thank you very much. It's creepy. If a girl gives me a Valentine's Day card saying, I love you so much. I love you so much. I want us to be together because I want to be a part of the upper echelon of the world, I'll throw that card away. All right, okay, let's react to some more funny TikToks. I feel like this is what this channel should be all about at the end of the day. Oh, we got a bit sidetracked for a second. This next one, I gotta warn you, it's a bit of a hoot. It's what goes on in Trisha's mind every time she sees a Jewish man going around with a yarmulke in LA.
I am sailing off to London. I am accompanied by someone who always pays. I found a wealthy husband who will keep me in comfort for all my days.
I am sailing off to London. I am accompanied by someone who always pays. I have found a wealthy husband who will keep me in comfort for all my days. The caption is, that's on dating Jew men. How can you not see the issue here? That's still the same. That's still her regurgitating the exact same stereotype. That she wants to be a part of the upper echelon of the world by dating a Jewish man. She sees a Jewish man and, oh no, oh geez, she can't even help herself. She can't even resist. She's like a cartoon animal floating around to the scent of a delicious, delicious pie. Nothing can stop her in her tracks. Also, why Jew men? When it's an adjective, you need to use the whole word, or it sounds a bit attacking.
Say the whole word.
Jewy.
Another reason Trisha has stated for this cute little hobby of hers is the fact that she is really upset because she never really had a culture of her own, which is really, really sad. Poor Trish doesn't have a culture of her own, so she doesn't really have a choice but to take little bits and bobs from other cultures and turn that into a part of her identity.
I've been doing like Jewish culture videos, I guess, for a while. I've always been fascinated by it, and it is partly because I date a lot of Jewish guys. I don't know why that is. Pretty much all my boyfriends except for like one were Jewish, so I feel like I just want to be adapted into someone's culture so bad, especially because I myself don't really have cultures or traditions, so I'm really fascinated by other people's cultures and traditions.
I remember the way that people responded when she said that stuff. The reaction was essentially the equivalent of a collective aw sound effect, like in a sitcom. Aw, but poor little Trish doesn't have a culture of her own, so she has no choice but to talk about how much she wants to suck Jewish dick all day. Yeah, it seems like everyone's an empath nowadays. I don't get this, oh, boo-hoo, I don't have a culture thing. You do. I mean, you celebrate Christmas, I don't. That's a cultural difference between us. That's a cultural element that exists for you and doesn't exist for me. It may not seem like it because Christmas has been so deeply integrated into pop culture and media, so now it's essentially mainstream, but it's still a cultural difference. You celebrate a holiday that I do not. And that's just one of a few examples, but don't get me wrong, I don't think there's an inherent problem with someone enjoying another like significant other's culture or friend's culture or whatever, you know, if done in a respective way and all that. When I used to have a girlfriend who wasn't Jewish, she brought me into a Christmas British holiday dinner, which was really, really cool. That's something that I've never gotten to experience before, and I've always been pretty jealous of the lack of Christmas in my life. I love Home Alone 6 so much, it's the best one, so finally getting to experience that in real life was really, really cool and awesome. And in turn, she also came over to celebrate Passover with my family and I, which was also pretty cool because I got to show her this part of my life that she wasn't really aware about before, this thing that she hasn't really experienced before this moment. I would gladly invite many of my friends to do the same thing because I just think it will be pretty fun. I also know that I can trust these people to not act like a bunch of weird creeps about it because, hey, that's what normal people tend to do. I know that if they would see a dreidel, for example, their first reaction wouldn't be to point at it and scream, Jew.
This is horrible, I hate it.
Jew! Look at the giant dreidel!
Trisha, you can't just scream Jew. You can't just drive around screaming Jew.
The problem here is definitely not with Trisha celebrating a Jewish holiday with her Jewish boyfriend. That's fine. That's normal. It's mainly that Trisha has taken a lot of these cultural elements and essentially turned them into a bit of a caricature. She did a Passover mukbang on her channel in 2020, which in itself, as like a concept, it's absolutely revolutionary. I never thought I'd see a Passover mukbang in my lifetime. I mean, Jewish holidays aren't really as commercialized as like, I don't know, Christmas or Halloween. So, you know, Trisha being the person to kick that off, it's pretty impressive. It's pretty impressive stuff.
And it's kind of crazy because like Passover is huge. Like Passover is like, if you guys don't know, Passover is basically the celebration of when the Jews were no longer slaves to the Egyptians. So it's not really just a Jewish thing, it's like a freedom thing.
No, it's definitely a Jewish thing. It's a Jewish holiday. Now, if you don't know anything about Passover, one thing that's a bit of a fun fact for you is that during the entire duration of the holiday, which is like about a week or so, you're not supposed to eat anything at all that has any sort of wheat in it whatsoever. So no bread, no breadings. You get the point, I think. A lot of people, even non-religious Jews, adhere to that rule. I personally don't. But yeah, it would be really, really odd to see anything that has wheat in it on the dinner table. It's just not a thing that happens. It's almost as odd as the unnecessary hatred towards the classic movie Home Alone 6. So keep that in mind as we watch this mukbang.
For strength, I'm definitely gonna have to go with the chicken because it's protein.
Breading! There's motherfucking breadings on the chicken wing. Take her away, officer. Lock her up and throw away the key.
You're also not supposed to have flour.
There's something very, very unsettling about this video for me, almost uncanny valley-like, because it has some similarities to something that I'm very, very familiar with, but it's definitely not that. It's definitely not that thing.
So this is the prayer. Baruch atah Adonai Alami Melech Chalom Shakanya Vikia Menu V'chanya Lazman Chazak.
She is literally holding a KFC chicken wing. I can assure you that's not traditional in any way.
I did get a little candle, and it says something in Hebrew or Jewish, or I don't know. I think it's all the same.
Yeah, it says something in Hebrew or Jewish or I don't know. It's all the same thing. I can't tell the difference between them. Trisha, it says memorial candle right there in English. You absolute clown. Memorial candle. Did that not turn on a bit of a red flag for you? Memorial candle. This is a candle that you bring to a Jewish person's memorial service. You take that candle and put it in a little nook in their grave that's meant for it. That's what that candle is for. It's a candle for dead people. And you brought it to a holiday dinner.
It says something in Hebrew or Jewish, or I don't know. I think it's all the same.
It's right there. It's in a language that you can understand. Probably. What is that? What is that? Horzer dish? I think this might be written in Jewish, in Jewsthetics. Trisha used to get really upset when people claimed that she wasn't actually Jewish, which, to be fair, I think that people only did that because she isn't. She isn't. She simply is not.
But probably the most offensive, most anti-Semitic thing people tell me is that I'm not really Jewish.
She's not Jewish because she never finished the conversion process. Wow. Big shocker right here. Couldn't have seen this one from 1 trillion miles away. I knew this. I'm a genius. That's why you should trust me about my take about Home Alone 6. I know what I'm talking about, clearly. Not to mention that throughout the whole process, she kept insisting again and again and again that she's still a Catholic. So which rabbi is gonna actually let you convert if you do that?
Accept the Lord as your Savior, Jesus Christ, this week, and be lifted of all worry.
Her being upset about not being validated as a Jewish person is unbelievably ironic. Trisha has gone on again and again and again to try and claim that for some reason American Jewish people are not real Jewish people. Why? I don't know, because she decided so?
You don't understand the religion or the culture at all.
Oh, what are you talking about?
Because you're saying he's not a real Jew. First of all, you're gatekeeping and you're not even Jewish. You're saying...
How come I can't gatekeep, but everyone else can gatekeep on the internet?
You're not even Jewish.
Semantics.
Trisha had a whole ass beef with an account called Jew Crazy on TikTok. Unsurprisingly enough, it was started by her. They were just existing out there in the wild, being all Jew crazy and stuff. When she decided to come on up, make a TikTok about them, and invalidate their Jewishness.
I saw you got beef with this TikTok account, Jew Crazy.
They present themselves as Orthodox Jews, but Orthodox Jews are not supposed to have phones or TV.
What? They're not Amish. They can use technology. That's not a thing. Is it just confusing between Amish people and Orthodox Jews because they kind of sort of dress the same? They're not the same guys. This whole debacle was essentially kicked off when Trisha got upset that these guys, who she doesn't actually know and their personal life doesn't affect her in any way, said that they wouldn't ever date a non-Jewish person. Just because it's part of their religion and all that. She was so angry about it that she went on immediately to claim that their penises are small because they wouldn't have sex with her, essentially. They did a TikTok all about Jewish stereotypes that Trisha probably believes, and I agree. I think she does believe all these things. It really was a whole thing. She made a TikTok, they responded, She responded to that. All sorts of back and forth kind of engagement going on over here. But at some point, you could really tell that these guys have just fully had enough. They just couldn't stand the things that Trisha was spewing all over her public platform. The breaking point happened when Trisha made a video trying to claim with facts and logic that these guys weren't actually as Jewish as they claimed they were. Huh.
Okay, so this is an account called Jew Crazy.
Hi, Trisha, that's us, yes.
Brother-in-laws
Yep.
who are dressing as Orthodox
Because
Jews.
we're Jews.
I don't know if they are. But
No, we're Orthodox
dressing
Jews.
as portraying that. Well, if that's true, they love to come for me for not being politically correct.
No, we don't come for you. In fact, you actually came for us. You mocked us and you body shamed us for following our religion.
You must not make for yourself an idol of any kind or image as an Orthodox Jew.
Correct. You're not supposed to make any idol or idolize anything as a god. We don't idolize anyone as a god.
And you have literally claimed to try and bribe someone off to give you your Jewish pass. What? You have no ground to stand on. Why should she care so much about them not wanting to have sex with her? What is this? What's the point of this? Why is this on the forefront of your mind?
Because we just did this video, it's because you sexualize our religion, you make a mockery of our religion, you don't respect the rules in our religion, it's because you believe in Jewish stereotypes.
You can tell that he's genuinely pissed off at this point, and honestly, I get him. There isn't supposed to be something that's inherently sexual about someone's spiritual beliefs or someone's ethnicity or cultural identity. And Trisha making those things into something sexual is frankly pretty disgusting. Seeing Trisha making these sort of claims doesn't actually make me personally very upset and all that. I just treat her as the circus clown that she is. I don't think that she's a person to be taken seriously in any way. But to a religious person, that experience can be entirely different than mine. I personally know a lot of religious people that would feel very, very uncomfortable hearing these sort of statements. I think the biggest question here really is, why does she care? Why? What is it to her? Why does she care about this so much? Why does it upset her so much that she decided to do a whole villain monologue speech on TikTok?
Wow. Really godly of Jew Crazy. Orthodox Jews who claim they believe in God.
I think the simple answer is that Trisha has always looked at Jewish men as a sort of toy for her, a prop for her to use, something that is there for her needs and for her to fetishize. And when she was confronted with this reality that these two random ass, Jew crazy ass people won't ever want to do anything of the sort with her, it made her go absolutely Joker mode all over on TikTok. This is something that she feels entitled to get, and she knows that these people will never give that to her, and that makes her upset. I had a bit of an inner conflict about how I should approach this video. On one hand, I felt like the things that she's saying are serious. She's throwing out a lot of stereotypes out there that shouldn't be thrown out, and that's something not to be taken lightly. But on the other hand, I can't help but think that if I'm taking her seriously, I'm giving her words a lot more power. I'm giving her more legitimacy that she ever deserves to have. I feel like the status quo with Trisha is that no one actually is giving any sort of weight to the words that she's saying. She's essentially just an online spectacle, something to look at and laugh sometimes. Or maybe Trisha is not even in the wrong for anything here. I mean, how can a person who exclusively Jews even be anti-Semitic? It's literally impossible. Okay, that's it for me. Subscribe right now, or I will steal all of your teeth from the tooth fairy right now. I'll break into your house, I'll take the pillow up, and I'll steal all of your teeth. So subscribe and follow me on Instagram at PinelyBox, where I post pictures of me and my dad. If you follow, you get a chance to win my dad on a giveaway, so